After a bright start for Chelsea under Enzo Maresca, it's certainly been a bit dire over the last few weeks. In fact, in the last 6 to 7 games since mid-December, just one solitary win, and that was against a struggling Wolves side as well. Even if they're not in a crisis at the moment, they're certainly approaching a panic territory soon, especially if they don't get a result here today, Sharpie. But one perhaps very worrying trend is how Chelsea is starting to become not just a first half team, a first 30 minutes team, because a good chunk of their goals are scored in the first 30 minutes. But they haven't been able to sustain that when taking the lead and end up dropping quite a good amount of points in the last 6 games.
Yeah, I think there's probably a few factors in that. I think you've got to look at they're one of the youngest teams. I think they are the youngest team in the league, and they started off absolutely on fire, all guns blazing and scoring goals and winning games. I think they've just started to hit a sticky patch. Probably a little bit of experience, maybe a little bit of mental fatigue from the younger players. I'd like to know how many goals the goalkeeper has cost them from winning positions, and whether that's been a factor as well. But every team goes through this sticky patch, and you'd like to think that the younger players are going to learn from it, and it's only a matter of time before they turn it round and start winning games. He said in there in his interview, they've got to be happy to win 1-0. I think sometimes they've got to know when to consolidate and when to defend and not sort of go for it and leave gaps at the back. But I think Chelsea are way too good going forward to be struggling and think that it's a crisis at the moment.
Yeah, I think one of the strengths of Chelsea is the ability to get players forward, to create chances, to score goals. They've got 45 that they've scored in the Premier League this season. So, you know, they're around about 2 goals a game on average. And, you know, you go 1-0 up and I think the feeling is, and again, the enthusiasm of youth that they have in their side, they want to go on and get another one. And as Lee's just said, and you know, Maresca said it in his press conference, you know, sometimes you just got to defend a lead as well. But naturally, they want to go on and win it 2 and 3. And that sometimes comes back and bites you. This is part of the learning process for such a young team.
Is there any responsibility that could be put maybe on Enzo Maresca on his slight inexperience in the Premier League? Because if you look at some of his substitutions as well, in comparison to the first 15 games of the season, he's bringing on substitutions later in the game and making less substitutions in-game. Is it his in-game management? Because there is an accusation that maybe he's also a little bit stubborn, especially when you compare it to Graham Potter, who's incredibly tactically flexible. Yeah.
I think you can very easily look and find trends there, of course. But no, I think that Maresca has a real grasp of the game. I think tactically, you know, he knows his stuff. There's no two ways about that. But, you know, as a coach, you make decisions, substitutions, because you want to either tighten it down or you want to be a little bit more progressive. And sometimes you just need a little bit of good fortune going with those. You know, you talk about, and I've said it before, Lee, about, you know, as a manager, and I didn't spend long in management roles, but, you know, did I want to be good or did I want to be lucky? And mainly I wanted to be lucky, because you do need that good fortune. There's no doubt about it. Of course, these guys are good, but you do need some real good fortune with those choices. You know, how often does it happen? Somebody makes a substitution and within 2 minutes they score you a goal. Well, is that genius or is that good fortune?
Is it genius or good fortune?
I would say probably good fortune.
Yeah, there's a question of whether he'll be able to respond out of this positively in what is a difficult period of time for Enzo Maresca.